the back of his head appears to have sort of exploded.
Antonin, no. I feel like I need to be close to whatever there is that's left of him. I can't quite believe that I'm seeing this image.
You should try to capture the moment when life begins. Display that to the world in all its glory.
Horrible. I mean, his poor head.
You seen someone older sneeze and their head blows off?
What are you talking about?
The man has not suffered some sort of brain aneurysm, as you say. These things, no matter how severe, do not make a skull explode, excuse me.
No one person has a monopoly on painting a bull, nor can one man alone paint in oil.
You see me doing this slightly weird thing where I crane up, looking as if I'm looking for some kind of butterfly or something.
Get Peladan's attention. Talk to him about art or something.
You see LaRouche slip a little card into Peladan's hand.
Oh, Peladan! Clovis has something he wants to talk to you about.
It says, "Thanks for the loan, the channeling, unmitigated triumph. Come Tuesday."
I must confess I had been very keen to purchase Monsieur Pinault's magnificent painting.
Will you not step through and create something in your own style?
The gendarmes quickly drag you away and usher everyone through to the library, where all the guests at the party are gathered.
While everyone's just sat around, forced to be silent, I don't see how they can object to me reading my book. So I'm gonna read my book.
You fool, put it away!
Shh! Gendarme, he's trying to talk to me.
It describes a ritual by which someone can channel the inner god from within themselves into an external vessel. The Apocalypse Players present A Message of Art by Matt Sanderson, a Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario from the Nameless Horrors collection, with Joseph Chance as Jane Harnsworth-Wright, art dealer, Danann McAleer as Clovis Hérbert, classical painter, Dominic Allen as Donatien Benoit, art critic, and returning special guest Jessica Temple as Edwina Alexander, dilettante. The title music is by Julie Abbey, and your keeper of arcane lore is Dan Wheeler. Part 7, Scene 1, The Night Cafe, Van Gogh.
Bathsheba is like a statue. And that's all I managed to get out. And then I glare at him and then I sort of glance over at her. And I reach towards Edwina as if I'm being separated from my sister.
And you glance over at Bathsheba, do you?
Yeah.
And I do that thing where I look immediately, really obviously, when someone's talked about someone over there, so that then Jane has to go, no, don't look.
I just ignore that. I know that you're Benoit. I want to say that, but I don't want to rile these cops up any further.
Yeah.
I give her a really good eyeballing.
I think I've been distracted enough from my illustration that Jane interrupting has been wakes me from it slightly, and I would maybe try and edge towards Edwina.
Yeah, I feel like maybe for this whole thing, since I've put this thing back in my corset bra, I've sort of maybe been stood there with my hand on my just sort of
as if they're playing the Internationale.
Yeah, but sort of just kind of holding it really close. And I feel like because we sort of went through this thing together, Clovis, that like you being near is really good. I want to share what I've maybe shared. Can I share it?
Yeah, I think you have been quite ostentatious, all four of you gathering together and kissing. But I think if you wanted to sidle up to one person and have a quiet word, you'd probably get away with that.
It's definitely Monsieur Hérbert.
Perhaps on separate corners of the salon.
Oh, yes, nice. So sort of maybe even facing away from each other.
Ouais.
And maybe, so if we're kind of like perched on the corner, I'm facing that way and you're facing that way, I feel like maybe this would be a moment for me to sort of go, I'm going to pass you something. And I sort of take it out of my corset and I sort of slide it surreptitiously by looking the other way. And I say, what do you think of this? And I sort of like slide it along.
Ouais. Merci. And I sort of turn away even slightly further and sort of lean back ostentatiously like,
yeah.
Oh, when will this end? I crack my back, and but I take the card and I look at it. Couldn't God for an address and try. Thank you for the long. The channeling. Unmitigated triumph. Oh, did you take this from?
From Paladin. You know, I asked you to distract him.
Oh, of course. Who gave it to Paladin again?
Larouche. Pierre Larouche.
Larouche. Bathsheba's husband.
Yes.
What does he loan him? The channeling.
Tell you what, Edwina, you could give me an occult roll.
Ugh.
You've got some decent occult, haven't you?
I got some knowledge. Yeah, I will. 26 on a 50.
Oh, hello.
Great. Do you want to spend 1 point of luck to make it a hard?
Sure. Yeah.
So basically, you are pretty sure, the more you look at this card, that the channeling sounds like some sort of spell or ritual.
Yeah.
Or rite.
I'm thinking the channeling, I don't know what that is, but...
You don't have a fucking clue. You think it's probably something to do with digging a ditch.
Oui.
It's an aqueduct.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're pretty sure it's a spell or a rite. And it feels like it's very relevant to Martinism, sort of esoteric Christianity, religion. You couldn't be quite sure, but your inference from this is that Paladin has loaned something to Larouche, which has enabled him to perform the channeling.
Yes.
That would be your best guess with your hard success.
Okay, good.
You might want to share that or you might not.
Well, no, I think it was more having solidarity in that someone else has the information. I don't think Clovis is on the same wavelength, because even earlier she felt a bit of jealousy when he was sort of vibing with Paladin. So I feel like it's like, again, like the cogs are wearing.
I might whisper as I pass it back, and as you're having this, I might whisper to you, the channeling, what does he mean by that? I do not get it. And I just sort of go back into my thoughts.
Yeah, and I think I then put the card back in my sort of pocket. I just feel like the cogs are wearing constantly with her now, because obviously I've had this vision, I've got this note, all this shit is going down, but I don't quite have all the answers, which is why I'm at this party anyway. So that's why it's frustrating.
That's fine. I think around now, a couple of gendarmes come into the room and they say, Monsieur Lavagne, you realize that he has been in conversation with Bathsheba. She's been whispering something quietly into his ear. And the gendarmes say, Monsieur Lavagne, would you come with us? Would you all like to give me a psychology roll?
What? 24 on my 50.
75 for me on the 50.
Great. Anyone who succeeded on a psychology roll, it's obvious that there is a different attitude in the gendarmes addressing Lavagne as there was when they addressed the rest of you. Anyway, so he is led out of the room.
Someone is in trouble.
I'm almost oblivious to this. 2 points away from a fumble.
Oh dear, okay.
I got a hard success.
Are you interested in sort of not necessarily following them out, but keeping an eye on them to see what happens next as they exit the room?
Wait. Because, Edwina has shared this card with me, and I cannot help her with it. And I am sketching, but I do not have my oils, so it is not as good as it could be, and various things are being very frustrating. So I think as I notice this, the change in demeanor, I will shift to the door and see if I can...
Perfect. So as if you shift so you can sort of see the way they pass out the door, and you can see the detective is waiting just outside in the sort of corridor area. A maid is next to him. The maid you recognize is the one who dropped the tray of drinks.
Ah.
Tears streaking her face. with another gendarme by her side.
She's still upset.
Well, still or again, who knows?
Right, she's been questioned and whatever.
And you see the detective speaking to Lavagne as he approaches. Going to give me a listen roll? See if you can. Because there are some distance away and they're speaking quite quietly.
Listen is not great, but it could be worse. Oh, 49 on a 40. Oh, 9's a lot, though. I've lost a lot of luck already.
It's probably not worth it.
Yeah.
The detective says something to him. He says something back, looks sort of taken aback, looks around him to see if he's maybe looking for someone else. And then his shoulders slump. The detective hands him over to the gendarmes, and the gendarmes escort him out of the building. So the detective continues to interview all of the guests, although the interviews get shorter and more procedural. We have to speak to everyone. It appears that maybe they've got their man, or they certainly have some ideas. But they take everyone's statement, they take everyone's addresses and contact details, and everyone is told that they might be wanted for further questioning the next day or in the coming days. But eventually, everyone is told that they can depart, except, of course, for Paladin. And you see that Larouche and Bathsheba, as soon as everyone is told they can leave, they're the first to leave. And they leave quite hurriedly. And then gradually everyone else filters out. So I don't know whether you leave and go your own way home, or whether there are any sort of final conversations as you make your way out into the night.
I would certainly, myself at least, try to, because I haven't spoken properly to Benoit or Jane at all since we returned. And I feel like, I would definitely try to corral, if I could, the four of us into a sort of, even if it's as we're walking out of the building.
Of course, yeah.
If we are all walking out of the building.
Well, you tell me. I think, you're not getting forced out. So basically, the questioning is over. You're told you can leave. Paladin is going to stay. Most of the guests are leaving. So if you want to step outside and have a conversation in the street, you can. Or if you want to wait until most people have left and have a quiet conversation here in the library, that's also fine.
I think it makes sense to be walking out. But,
What I do is I slip the pastel and charcoal thing I've been working on into my folio, and I take out one of my finished works that I'm most proud of, and I, as close as I can get to Antoine, probably not his body, but as close as I can, I lay it down for him. It's, feels like I need to make a gesture of some kind. It feels like I still feel very sort of raw about it.
At this point, his body has been taken away by like a police pathologist.
Well, I'll leave it where his body was.
Perfect. Yeah. Outside the room where he was found.
Right.
Lovely.
And then I'll turn and try and Edwina I'm on best terms with currently, so, or almost sort of comfortable terms, as in we've been talking for a while. So I'll try and find her, take her arm potentially, but certainly sort of try and find Jane and Benoit. Because we started this evening together and it has gone crazy in so many ways. We must try to figure out what is happening. So yes, if I find Edwina, I'll sort of say, we must talk to the others.
Yeah, I feel like we should gather the troops, really, shouldn't we?
The absinthe troops.
Yes, I'm slightly worried about Jane. She seems very skittish. Quite uncharacteristic for the little I know of her. I feel like one of us should at least accompany her home, make sure she gets home safe.
Oui, indeed.
Let's chat, everybody. Where are you?
Well, I think I walk up to people and I'm sort of going, in that sort of way that people do after they've seen a play or whatever. I go, so, what did you all think of that?
Well, it was horrible, of course.
I thought so as well.
I see your friend.
There was nothing new about the work.
It is not work, Benoit. Let's be serious. I see your friend you were shoving into the grandfather clock for the 4th time this evening has been taken away by the gendarmerie. It seems he may well be the culprit.
I don't think he's a killer. I think he's an idiot.
Well, why did they take him?
because I grassed him up. I said that he was...
You?
Yes, I only told the truth, and it was the truth. Maybe not the whole truth, but partly. And I said that he had gone upstairs. He had arranged the distraction so that he would get upstairs. And I spoke to him. I caught him red-handed. I did not tell them this part, but I caught him red-handed upstairs in Paladin's occult knick-knack room, and he was trying to find something to steal. And he told me he's doing all of this because he does not like that the salon has been overtaken by these Martinist nut jobs. Anyway, I don't think he's a killer.
Well, I do not like it either. But what happened to fraternity? You grass up also you do not like? Just like that?
Vanya is not fraternal in any way. He is an imposter. He is a piece of shit. No. Lavanya is he is not one of us. Besides, the fact of the matter is, if he was, it's not like he was about some revolutionary act. He was trying to line his own pocket. He was trying to protect his own interests. I have no time for that. But the other fact is, they have arrested him because I grassed him up for something that was very minor. They have leapt to the conclusion that he is the murderer because they have nothing. They have nothing. They don't know what happened to that man, and neither do we.
No. And, well, we cannot let...
I have this book.
Huh?
I have this book. This nonsense book that they have.
What is...
There is something going on in that salon that is not normal.
Why?
And now there is a man dead through abnormal means.
Why?
Who would want him dead? What, do you think it was a murder? Tell me, what do you think? You saw it more than us.
All I know is I do not think Antonin, I do not think Pinot, he would not kill himself. I've seen him depressed. He was not depressed. He was ill. This is not like him. The only person I saw not reacting was Bathsheba, the porcelain doll. She had no expression, you know?
I did not speak to her tonight. She strikes me as someone very uninteresting. These muses are often not worth talking to.
No. She is very interesting.
Oh, really?
But I do not know why. There's something about her.
Can I just double check?
Yeah.
Did the book come from Prideaux's bag? Or did it come from Lavagna?
The book most recently came from Prideaux's bag.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much you saw.
I was party to that distraction.
Well, Benoit saw Lavagne take the book from the occult library upstairs, bring it downstairs, slip it into Prideaux's bag under the pretense of looking for a key.
I don't know where its provenance, but I was aware that it had come from, or seemed to come from Prideaux's bag.
Yeah, so I think you saw it come from Prideaux's bag, but you don't know that it had been taken from the library and planted in Prideaux's bag.
Yeah, I think that's what's got messy in my mind. The stuff that I know that I don't know.
It is pretty messy.
It's good. No, that's good. No, it's great. Life is.
But I think just while we're here, I do think it makes sense that the four of you have hung around in the scene of the crime, because you feel somehow bonded by the fact that you all met Pinot together in the Absinthe House, and to greater or lesser degrees you knew him, but it's almost like there's this arc that you've experienced from meeting him at the beginning of the evening and then the discovery of his body, and everyone else has gone out into the night and made their way home with a weight off their mind, almost having left the party and left this behind. But I think something is like holding you back or bonding you together really around this tragedy.
I think I'm stood by the door. I've been hovering by a gendarme, occasionally looking like I'm about to start speaking to him, but sort of fiddling with this piece of paper in my hand. But eventually I give up on that, and I walk towards Edwina, and I hold both hands out, and I say, "Tell me, my dear. Please do tell me, my dear."
Oh, no.
Am I right in thinking that you have a keen interest in the spiritual, do you not?
To be completely frank, yes. And the reason I came here tonight was to find out more. But to be honest with you, it's all rather confusing instead of enlightening at the moment.
And I switch back to French, and I say, enlightening is such an interesting choice of word, because, I think it might be time for a nightcap. Normally, I would have attempted to have secured legal representation for us all and got us out of here as quickly as possible, but I must admit that I was rather stalled there for a moment. But there's something I must speak to you all about, but in private.
But of course, where shall we go?
Back to the, perhaps the Rue Georges Batelier for the final stop. I know it'll be open.
Boy.
We began as 5. Perhaps we could toast to the 5th.
So be it.
Au bord de la rivière, nous étions allongés. Auprès de toi la clairière, et passe me remit le bouquet. Sous les déchets nos enfants, la lune suspendue te souffle à travers les branches l'histoire des marins perdus. Oh, je mettrai dans mon cœur chacun de ces baisers, chacune de ces fleurs pour un hiver entier.
The scene fades inside the Absinthe House, the end of the night. It's unlike earlier where it was sort of just getting buzzy. It's getting very quiet. It's Sunday night. I think they're just about to close. In fact, as you have this drink, someone is already putting chairs up on top of tables and mopping the floor. So you probably don't have long. But the 4 of you are around a table, nursing whatever your poison is.
So, Jane, you got my note, no? That we were going to, that we went to the salon.
Oh, yes. Yes, dear Clovis.
Apologies, Edwina, but I thought it was wise to let them know we were leaving. There had been such drama already.
Indeed. And clearly events occurred there. Perhaps you can tell us more?
Well, it is, I don't know how relevant it is. We went there, we spoke with Peladon, did we not, Edwina? And, we spoke of art and...
Well, I was not oblivious to, there was, I think, perhaps a conversation when we were being held in near arrest. Maybe even did I see a passing of a note? I couldn't be sure. There was something on both of your minds.
It was all very brief, and but we oblivious to what happened since, and then we return, and suddenly, Antonin Pinoy has his brain splattered all over the wall, and I still cannot get the image out of my head. Were you there when he died?
No. I followed him. In all truth, I was desperate to secure his painting. I know it sounds cold, but I had imagined that it would be such a wonderful centerpiece for a display in London.
No, his work is very fine. I see why.
And yet, in truth, I feel, well, that coldness has inspired me to realize that something is more important. In a mad moment, seeing that surely he was dead, I wanted to claim a forged agreement between us. You must forgive me, all of you. And I lay the paper on the table with the gore, now largely dried. But I lay it on the table, and I say, there was something that arrested me, and I looked at you, Edwina, and I think I take your hand. But it's in a different way to that confidence that I had 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
Where I was obviously trying to manipulate anyone and everything around me. It's me attempting to be sincere, which is probably horrifying to behold, and you should all roll San. Just for her sort of weird, the way she shows some of her teeth. as if she might be trying to smile.
Oh, God.
But maybe just trying to mean it for the first time in all of our lives together.
Pops her false teeth out.
Yeah, exactly. So some of them probably just fall, shattering as they go. But in all truth, she obviously looks thrown, but she looks directly at you, Edwina, and says, "What do you think a soul looks like when it leaves the body?"
Jess's face, a picture.
Sorry. And
this is an audio medium, Jessica.
Yes, no, that was me just genuinely reacting to that statement. It's fucking horrible. I sort of look her dead in the eye and say, "You've seen the other side, haven't you? You know what it's like, don't you?" And it's like I'm trying to sort of unlock something in her, I feel like.
I think there's a bit of shaking of the head, and although she tries to hold your gaze, she relents and she looks at these useless men, particularly straight to Benoit in that moment, and says, "Did you see nothing? A light?" And then looks at you, Clovis, because you did go to the body, but like she already knows that you didn't see anything, and particularly the way in which you were reacting.
I was too late. Whatever it is.
I nod, and I look back at Benoit. Really nothing. A light in the corner of the room, moving strangely.
I arrived at the last moment. The people were crowded around the door. I could see barely anything.
What is this light you speak of?
That stupid Lavagna.
Oh, wait.
I didn't want to admit it to myself when I found him, but that blasted detective used the word exploded, and ever since I have not been able to get it out of my mind. It's as if his brain exploded. That's not normal. There's another thing in medicine that reports such things. I'm sure of it. We could hire expensive doctors, I'm sure, but we should wipe that from our minds. Oh, Edwina, our hopes lie in you. Perhaps you and Monsieur Benoit, maybe you, Clovis, but I have no gift when it comes to the understanding that Paladin and his friends are pursuing these members of the Rose et Croix.
Scene 2. Monument to Balzac. Rodin.
Well, we have the key to that now, and I get the book out and I go, I think this is their central document, their manifesto, if you will. The foundation of their beliefs is in this book.
Prideaux's poetry?
Not Prideaux's poetry, for God's sake.
I thought you took it from her bag.
No, this was planted there. So, Lavagna had gone upstairs, stolen this book from Paladin's library, from his occult room, and placed it in her bag to frame her for stealing.
Using the girl as the distraction with the breaking of the glasses over Madame Denarius.
Exactement. I tried to point out to him that if this Prideaux is part of the occult inner circle of the salon, then no one is going to accuse her of stealing, but merely borrowing the book. He's an idiot.
But how is it... I have had my mind blown by poetry and art in the past, metaphorically speaking, but...
I pour him another absinthe when he says that.
Surely you're not saying that there's another way that Pinot's brain was literally blown? Is this what you are suggesting?
From within.
How?
Then I do a sort of... and the penny drops for me, and I feel like this is the book that maybe I've been looking for that might have some answers. So I say, Benoit, would you mind? Can I take a look? And I sort of don't really ask. I just sort of take it off you.
Yes, yeah.
I open it up and I'm sort of tearing through the pages, not carefully, but not delicately either. All this talk of sort of explosions and coming from within, I'm sort of linking with the channeling. I'm trying to find any kind of... Maybe I start muttering to myself a little bit, channeling. Oh, where will it be? There must be something in here. And I'm not going crazy, but I feel like,
what?
Sort of Minority Report, when they're sort of like mind map.
Yeah.
Like Sherlock, and he's sort of going like that, and it's sort of going, okay, so there's something. I don't have all the knowledge. Jane, I feel like I'm so close to an answer, but I just need more time.
You see me stepping back from you as if you are clearly quite crazy.
Yeah, and I feel like I had a bit of
lost of sanity.
Yeah, I did lose a bit earlier, and I feel like I buried that. But you know, when sort of things go gunk, it starts to click in.
Yeah, it comes back up.
Click into place a little bit. Like I had a vision, and then the vision sort of half came true, and now you're talking, and
I love all this, and I say, if it hadn't moved, the light, then I wouldn't even have mentioned it, but the way it moved, not like a floater in the eye as it drops. This went up and away as if it was alive. Could it possibly have been his soul? And I dropped my voice down, but it's a very dramatic whisper. Quite obviously, I'm high on it, and I think I down that extra absinthe that I've just poured for Clovis, and I pour another one immediately for him.
Jess, if you're flicking through the book, would you like to give me another occult roll?
Yeah. Da 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 da.
What is it? Is it bumper book of telegraph crosswords or
Sudoku, actually?
Sudoku.
The doorway to Japan opens. We walk in.
Ooh, I got 22 on a 50.
Hey,
22 on a 50. That's a hard success.
Game changer.
Really hurts. Yeah. I feel like I need some answers at some point,
Yeah.
Something's got to click.
So
Yeah, Dan.
You're flicking through this book and your eyes land on a page, and it's the same page. It just took a while for that to land. It was a slow burn.
Yeah.
Your eyes land on a page, and it's the same page that Benoit landed on sort of by chance, just because he saw this little pencil flick. And there is a spell, a ritual called Channeling God, which you are now pretty sure is exactly what the note on the business card refers to.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
And the ritual is described as follows. First, the ritualist needs to create a ritual space. Then the ritualist begins to work upon creating a vessel for the power they are calling upon. The vessel can take any form: a painting, a piece of writing, a musical composition, a sculpture. The ritualist then needs to perform some chanting whilst working on the vessel. And then, if successful, the vessel will be entered by a muse and will channel the inner god, basically. You're not totally sure what all this means.
No.
But you're pretty sure this is what's been referred to by the business card you've landed on.
Do you read it out loud, or is it in your head? Or?
I don't. I feel like. Well, no. I feel like there's a closeness with us. Maybe not so much with Benoit, Sauce Pal.
Oh, yeah. The cynic.
Yeah.
But you're here anyway. But I feel like certainly. I feel like I want to show you the card. Certainly, maybe Jane. So I take the card out and I say, Benoit, Jane, I have something to show you. Now, you mustn't be angry. I've already showed Clovis, but that's only because of the closeness of where we were sat next to each other. But
his face suddenly looks really downcast. But you carry on.
Not because I fancy him. Definitely not because of that.
Can I roll psychology?
So I sort of present the card in one hand with the writing face up, and then I present the page of this book with this channeling ritual on. Now, I really, really don't know how or why, but somehow these are linked, and I think maybe we all might need to work together to figure it out. And my hands are sort of like shaking a little bit, because I feel like we're on the precipice of something creepy and weird and brilliant. And I'm slightly thrilled and terrified at the same time. That's what I'm like.
And at that moment, a waiter comes over and says, 5 minutes.
Ouais.
Damn it. Oh, and I actually, what I do in that moment, because I've completely forgotten that on my character sheet, I'm very charming and I'm persuasive. So I look over at him, and in the best French that I can muster up, I say, Oh, monsieur, please, for a poor girl with a broken heart, could you possibly spare us another 15. And then I have the mustard to sort of produce a single tear. And I sort of say, it's been a very hard year. And then I sort of wipe the tear away and give him a little, zhuzh of my cleavage and then sort of,
Zhuzh of your cleavage. Oh, give me your charm roll.
Oh, no. This is where I fail, and this is where I'm brought back down to earth immediately.
The zhuzh of the cleavage.
Know your place, woman. Right, hold on. Oh, I'm very charming, though, guys, I will say.
This is definitely worth a shot.
Oh, it's a 17. It's a 17 on a 70. So, yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome.
He basically falls to the floor.
He basically gets naked and is just like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
He melts a little and says, all right, but you should make it quick. We need to close up.
Thank you, Mr. 1,000 thank yous. Bisous, bisous, bisous. And then I'm turning back and immediately back in the moment and shaking a little bit and staring you all sort of in the eyes going, okay, well, come on, friends.
That was well done. It was very well done. I think I've been thinking since we left Belladance, do we need to go back to the gallery to see if the painting is some part of this? I don't understand. Or perhaps to Pinot's rooms.
This is what I'm thinking. I don't know, maybe it is too many of these, but fuck it. And I neck the absinthe you brought me, and I slam it down and I say, she is strange.
You're right.
She did not react to my friend dying. She looked utterly oblivious. When I saw her up close, she had no pores. She was smooth. He is a sculptor. She had no pores. She was not a bear or a dog. She was a human. You know what I'm saying. Honestly.
I'm not sure I do know. Do you know, Edwina?
Oh no, but I noticed that herself and LaRouche. Fishy Lavache.
Wait. Lavache. Wait.
LaRouche.
Fishy Lavache. LaRouche.
Fishy Lavache.
Scarped. Fishy Lavache. Sorry.
She's having a seizure.
LaRouche. Sorry. Compose yourself. It's the peanut butter I just taken.
It's your décolletage.
My heaving bosom. Herself and LaRouche scarped pretty quickly, and it was LaRouche that gave Peladan this card, and I'm still holding the bloody things out in my hands.
Wait.
Something isn't right.
This is it. You are right. They are. I don't know. Tell me I am mad, but if I am to take advice from an artiste, this is one thing. She gave me advice I never thought of before. This sort of advice that felt like a divine intervention. But then when I see her up close, she was not human. She felt not human. She was too smooth.
Stop saying that.
This is what he spelled, this channeling. It's what it talks about. Something being put into the art. No?
What do you mean? What do you say? I'm not sure if
I don't know. Maybe I am going mad. I am going crazy.
You think she is a painting?
Well, no, I'm saying she's a sculpture. Or not literally, but she is some sort of summoning. Perhaps she is a witch of some sort. I don't know. No, I am too.
Monsieur Benoit. What day is it today, Monsieur Benoit?
It's Sunday.
It's Sunday. Dimanche.
Come Tuesday.
Wait. I think Madame Harnsworth-Wright has it right. I think perhaps our best course of action right now is to go to Pinot. We should go to Pinot's apartment. My suspicion is this, my thinking, my logic. He was not well. When we met him, he was not well. He was exhausted.
What?
Haunted almost by his work.
What?
Something is going on there.
Yeah.
He was not well already, which means that if we go to his apartment, there may be clues as to how he got ill. He may have mentioned it in a notebook or something, and we will get to the bottom of how connected Bathsheba and that lot are to his unwellness. Perhaps we will even find what he's been working on, Or we go to his studio and actually look at it. It is still at the studio, no?
Well, in fact, the painting, The Man and the Bull,
in the salon,
I think you saw being packed away in the gallery.
Wait.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did.
But we never saw the painting itself.
I think you've all You have all seen the painting. It was hanging. It had pride of place in the gallery during the salon that's taken place over the past week. And I think you may have seen it being packed away when you visited the gallery, you two who went tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Man and Bull. A symbolist masterpiece.
So, let me just give you some options for...
Please.
You talked about Pino's apartments. You talked a couple of times about going back to the gallery. It might be that actually what you want to do is go home and meet up the next day.
What?
Recuperate some energy overnight. Spend some time on your own looking at books or doing anything else that has inspired you. Up to you, really.
Well, so our options. Places we need to... in places of interest. Pino's apartment is definitely something I'm keen to look at.
What?
We should go back and visit Pellerin and press him, I think. Try and find out if he knows anything.
Where are LaRouche and Bathsheba staying?
Well, this is it. Where are they? In my head, she is the most interesting, even if LaRouche knows nothing.
Perhaps Pellerin knows where they are.
Maybe.
When we saw the painting of her in the gallery, in the salon, he was not bothered so much. He thinks of her as a model. That was my impression. I may be wrong.
These two, Jane and Donatien, I think, aren't aware of that. So you might want to just let them know what you saw.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I saw...
Indeed, I ask.
Wait. I should have... sorry, I should explain myself. There was a painting. It was Jesus and a woman, right?
Yeah, it was Jesus handing a loaf of bread to a woman.
That's it. Yeah.
And the woman was the absolute spit of Bathsheba.
Wait.
And you thought that you'd seen her somewhere before.
Yeah.
And now you realise that the painting was painted by your friend Pino. So you were very familiar with the painting because it had sat in, I think, an apartment that you shared at some point.
Exactly. So it's that's my... Yeah. So this is why I was thinking, Pino, he must have met Bathsheba before, but then, LaRouche is saying he met her abroad. She has never been here, or... I don't know. I have not asked him in detail, but he's away.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that there is a painting that Pino did that has Bathsheba in it?
Wait.
That predates her arrival in Paris.
Well, as far as I know, it does.
And now he's dead.
Now he's dead.
Oui, exactement.
Well, this could mean that LaRouche could also be in trouble?
Well, quite. They could all be in trouble. We are all in trouble.
Why do it? Why murder him, and how?
Well, I do not know.
Wait, where does Pino live?
He lives on he lives in Barcelona.
Conveniently.
He lives in Kyoto.
Japan. We do have to get to Japan.
Let's say he lives very, very locally in the 9th.
Yeah, wait. He's just around the corner.
Just off Boulevard Haussmann.
It's the apartment I used to share with him until I had to downscale, but I know where it is.
I think maybe we should get there before the police do.
What?
You never know, especially if there's fishy business going on. They could tamper with things. Maybe we should head there now.
We could go tonight.
I clutch Edwina's hand with a fire in my eyes, and I say, an excellent suggestion. I shall call a cab. And I...
Unless we want to split up.
As you say that, I shove some francs onto the table, adjust my very disappointing décolletage in comparison.
Yes, soz, babe.
It's not what I have to offer. I think I'm all about the back. I'm all about the back bustle with my 60 appearance. And I dash to the door. And I grab the nearest looking individual outside and say, call me a cab, now.
Oh, oui, madame.
You're a cab.
So, am I still attached to your hand, Jane, or have you just...
No, I left you there.
No, okay, fine.
I wouldn't dare drag you out of this.
Yoink.
But basically, I'm missing Benoit's big revelation.
So I say, we could split it up. And then I turn around to discover I'm alone in the room.
We're all like on a chain being pulled out.
Yeah, yoink.
So I go to bed.
No, we could split up, though, Dom. Dom, that is absolutely true. We could split up, and I didn't want to stop it.
No, we could.
Why?
You certainly could.
Out of game, does that make life easier or harder, Dan?
I mean, it's whatever happens is going to be fucking difficult.
Yeah, of course.
I think don't worry about making my life easier. Tell me what you want to do, because then we'll do that.
I actually want to go and see Peladon.
Okay.
I want to go and speak to him directly and be like, "Oi, bitch, what's going on?" Be honest with me.
Very good.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. There you go.
For myself, I'm waiting to hear everyone else's thing. I'm still infatuated with Edwina, and I also wonder about Peladon. I did want to attract his attention, but I will wait and hear.
And yet you were also interested in going to Pino's apartment, right?
Wait. I mean, he is one of my oldest friends, and I would feel guilty, you know.
Jane, what are you interested in doing?
I mean, really, I want to know where the painting is, and I don't think I actually know where the painting is now, do I?
I think you know that it was in the gallery. It was hanging in the gallery.
It was in the salon. They were packing it away, but
Packing it away? Has it been sold?
well, I assume so, or they are making space for new works. This is, Peladon, I'm sure you'll not mind me saying, was worried about the future of the salon. He was not sure it was financially viable and various other things. But they were certainly putting it into canvas or whatever.
Then there is nothing to be done about that now, but perhaps there'll be something at the apartment. Something of this plan for the paired. Maybe the sketches. Oh, I don't know. Benoit, the apartment?
Yes. Dom, if you didn't want to go to bed in 9 minutes, what would you want to be doing next?
I'm quite keen to search Pinoir's apartment, or have it searched. I don't have to be the one to do it. Obviously, Clovis is the one who knows him the best. If I'm not doing that, I probably would settle down for the night with the book and study it. Those are my two options. My instinct is the fewer of us who go to Pinoir's apartment, possibly the best, considering it probably will be searched by the police tomorrow, so a lightness of touch is probably a good idea.
Great, okay.
In which case, I think I step forward as Benoit lays something out, and I say, then I have an idea. I may not have a lightness of touch, but I do have money. Edwina, come with us. See the apartment. Clovis and I. And then I will arrange for the cab to drop you at Peladon's at the earliest possible opportunity, but we should rest at some stage. Meet perhaps for coffee tomorrow at the earliest hour that we can bear.
That sounds agreeable. We've all had quite an exhausting and exhilarating evening. Maybe some rest will help clear things up.
Is that the cab now?
Maybe we should... Dearest Jane, on second thoughts, I can't shake that something terrible is going to happen again, and I would never forgive myself if somewhere else were hurt. I feel like I know Peladon, and he might be able to trust me, and I think he might have more answers than we're giving him credit for. I need to follow my instinct on this one. I'm sorry, Jane. Clovis?
Oh, I think we will not separate permanently now. No, we must meet again. But Edwina, if you are going to see Peladon...
As you say that, I think I look at the two of you for the first time in that light. And I say, please, the two of you take the cab.
Jane, thank you. And please, take care. Where shall we meet? I feel like we should meet in the morning at 9.
Let's meet at that nice spot. 2 streets over on the Rue de Garibaldi.
The Portuguese cafe. The pastel de natas.
The Portuguese tart.
The Portuguese tate. The Portuguese cafe. Perfect.
Yes.
Well, that's what it's called. Café de Tate.
I shall be there from 8.
Café de Tate. 9 o'clock.
Café de Tate.
So where's everyone going? Donatien's going to bed. Edwina's going to Peladon's.
I'm going to study the book.
Well, I was edging, as it were, towards accompanying Edwina, especially as Jane had offered us the cab.
I'm going to go to Pino's.
You're going to go to Pino's.
Yeah, and I will urge Benoit to read the book.
Great.
And my money shall carry the question of Pinot.
Whatever happens, this book is the fount of all their philosophy.
Aye.
We will understand them. We will.
Extract what knowledge you can. Good man, Benoit. And I say to Jane as she leaves, I say, if you need to know, the housewoman, she is named Beatrice. She loves licorice all sorts. Perhaps that will help you.
And cunnilingus.
Thank you, Clovis. So kind. Even I might struggle to find licorice all sorts at this hour.
Hello.
I'm going to roll an idea roll, Dan, to work out whether I really think going to the apartment's more useful to securing the painting, or whether I should just go back to the gallery.
Okay.
I guess I've helped Edwina into the cab, and I'm getting in after her. And I've said this to Jane. I've said she loves licorice. There may be a boulangerie that says licorice flavored choux-bon. You never know. Try it. They are very modern.
I rolled a hard success as the words licorice bonbon. A 29.
And so you're very specifically interested in laying your hands on that painting?
Yeah.
So, I suppose you're aware that the painting itself physically is probably in the gallery where the salon took place. But if what Edwina and Clovis have said to you is correct, all the artwork in the gallery was being packed up into boxes. So whether you can get in there and get it out of a box, and carry it home under your arm, I mean, potentially.
I think she's overcommitting to the idea of the painting in the face of the horror of what smooth skin means. I think she's lingering. As she walks away, she strides away from Clovis with Clovis's words in her mind and Edwina's bosom in her heart. And she's thinking, well, I can't compete with that. There's something happening there. And they've got Péladan covered. Benoit will be expert upon the book because that's what he does, and that's perfect. I can make my money open doors. Forget the licorice. I can open doors with the money. I know I can do that. I can persuade my way in. There's power in both. The gallery itself, which I never got to see, I could persuade someone to let me in there and say, oh, I was interested in buying this painting. And now the artist is dead, and this is a tragic crisis, but I want to make sure that his legacy is honoured. Or I could go as an artist, as an aspiring artist, I could go to the place where he felt the aspirational lure. But it's all very febrile, I think, for her in this moment. So she's torn.
Au bord de la rivière, nous étions allongés. Auprès de toi la clairière, et passe me remit debout.
In the spirit of the evening, I turn on my heel at the very last second, and I do go for the apartment.
To Pinot's apartment?
Yeah.
Te souffle à travers les branches, l'histoire des marins perdus. Oh, je
So, Donatien, Benoit, you go home and study this book. You read it through the night, and sort of propping your eyes open with toothpicks style. Although you think matchsticks rather than toothpicks, less brutal. And although you think maybe there's nothing more to it, you read and reread, and you get a really good grasp of this spell that you kind of agree with Edwina that this channeling the inner god is the spell that, like when you said this is the central thesis of their philosophy. It all starts to make sense that Péladan's obsession with making the salon a success, and the fact that potentially he's loaned this book out and this book has been changed hands multiple times, that there is something central involved in this particular ritual. So you have effectively learnt this spell, channeling God, which you may attempt to cast if you want, but you might not want to.
I want to do it right now.
You might want to also just sort of think about the implications of what it is to cast. But could you also give me a constitution roll to see how you're doing on having basically sacrificed a night's sleep?
It doesn't look good anyway. No, I rolled a 65 and a 40.
Okay, so could you make a note that you are going to have a penalty die on all physical actions until you get some more sleep?
Yeah, great. All right.
So that is your night, and you'll be meeting the others first thing tomorrow morning.
Fantastic.
Ce que j'entends le soir, oh, ce qui me tourmente quand je me languis de toi. Sache qu'aucune distance du nord au sud du temps ne peut perturber la beauté d'un amour ainsi enchanté.
That was Au bord de la rivière by Julie Abbé, who also wrote the title track Medusa, which you're listening to now. I'd like to take this opportunity to apologise to Julie, and the whole of France in fact, for the terrible accents in this podcast, and to thank her for the use of her beautiful music. You can find Julie's new album, Out of the Ashes, which features both of these tracks, at julieabbe.com. That's JULIEABBE.com. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, France. Thank you, listeners.
She held out her hands, I gave her mine, dazzled by the light in her grey eyes. Her long dark hair, her soul